Episode 10, The Demon's Guide to the 21st Century. Freddy Krueger had faced down vengeful parents, survived being burned alive, and decades as a dream demon terrorizing teenagers across multiple dimensions. None of that prepared him for the nightmare that was modern technology. The trouble started on a Tuesday morning in early 2025, when Jade came home from the Apple Store with a bag that would change everything. Lucas was 6 months old now, currently napping in his crib where shadows played across the walls in patterns that spelled out his dreams. Freddy was in his human form, sprawled on the couch and reading one of Jade's true crime books with fascinated interest. "I got you something," Jade announced, settling beside him with barely contained excitement. Freddy looked up warily. That tone usually meant she was about to introduce him to something from the modern world that would make him feel ancient and confused. Last time, it had been a Keurig coffee maker, and he'd spent 20 minutes arguing that it was clearly possessed, because how else would it know when to stop brewing? "Should I be worried?" he asked. "Probably, but you'll love it once you understand it." Jade pulled a sleek box from the bag. "Behold, your very own iPhone 16 Pro. Freddy stared at the box like it might explode. "A phone. You got me a phone. Jade, I'm a dream demon. Who am I going to call? Other nightmares? Hey Pennywise, want to grab coffee?" "It's not just a phone, you Neanderthal. It's a smartphone. It does everything. Calls, texts, internet, games, photos, videos. It's basically a tiny computer that fits in your pocket and connects you to the entire world." "Why would I want to be connected to the entire world? The world is full of idiots," says the man who spent decades killing teenagers for being idiots. Jade opened the box and pulled out the phone, its screen gleaming in the afternoon light. "Come on, humor me. I want you to have one so I can send you pictures of Lucas when you're off doing nightmare things, and so we can text each other like a normal couple." "We're not a normal couple." "Which is exactly why we should at least pretend sometimes. Now give me your hand." Freddy extended his hand, and Jade pressed the phone into his palm. It was lighter than he expected, smooth and cool against his skin. The screen lit up at his touch, displaying a time and some icons that meant absolutely nothing to him. "It's glowing," he observed. "Why is it glowing?" "Because it's on." "Okay, first lesson. This button on the side turns it on and off. This screen is touch sensitive, which means you interact with it by tapping and swiping." Jade demonstrated, her finger moving across the screen with practiced ease. "See? You touch an icon and it opens an app. Apps are little programs that do different things." "Apps," Freddy repeated, making it sound like a curse. "Everything has to have a cute name now. Back in my day, we just called things what they were." "Back in your day, people thought electricity was witchcraft. Now, pay attention." What followed was an hour of Jade attempting to teach Freddy the basics of smartphone operation while he alternated between fascination and frustration. The concept of a touchscreen baffled him. He kept pressing too hard, like the screen would respond better to force. "You don't have to stab it," Jade said, watching him jab at the weather app like he was trying to kill it. "Gentle taps. It's sensitive." "It's too sensitive. How do humans deal with this? Your fingers are just constantly touching things accidentally. Look, I just opened 3 different apps by trying to close one." "That's because you're swiping wrong. Here, let me show you again." The camera feature was the first thing that really caught his attention. Jade showed him how to take photos, and Freddy spent 15 minutes photographing everything in the apartment from weird angles. "This is incredible," he said, snapping a picture of a coffee mug. "It captures images instantly. No film, no development time, just immediate pictures. This is actual magic." "It's technology, but I'll allow the enthusiasm." Jade leaned against him, watching as he discovered the front-facing camera, and got startled by his own reflection. "Oh god, wait until you discover selfies." "Selfies?" "Pictures you take of yourself. It's a whole thing. Here, look." She took the phone and demonstrated, angling it to capture both of them. "Smile." Freddy's smile in the resulting photo was more predatory than pleasant, but Jade loved it anyway. She showed him how to look at the photo gallery, and he became immediately obsessed with taking pictures of Lucas. "I need to document everything," he declared, creeping into the nursery where their son was still sleeping. "He's going to grow up so fast. I want pictures of every moment." "That's actually really sweet," Jade said, her heart melting a little as Freddy carefully photographed their sleeping baby. "See? You're getting it." The texting lesson went less smoothly. Jade tried to explain the concept of text messages, how you could send written words back and forth in real time, and Freddy looked at her like she'd suggested he learned to speak Dolphin. "Why would I text you when I can just appear next to you whenever I want, or talk to you through the dream realm?" "Texting seems inefficient." "Because sometimes I'm at work and you can't just materialize in the bookstore. Margaret doesn't care that you're my husband. She draws the line at supernatural manifestations during business hours." Jade pulled out her own phone. "Look, I'll send you a text right now, and you respond." She typed out a message. "I love you, you stubborn nightmare." Freddy's phone buzzed, and he nearly dropped it in surprise. It made a noise. Why did it make a noise? "That's a notification sound. It means you got a message. Now open it and respond." He tapped the screen, opened the message, and stared at the keyboard that appeared. "These buttons are too small. My fingers are too big for this. How do humans type on these things without hitting every wrong letter?" "Practice. Now, type something back." What followed was 5 minutes of Freddy hunting and pecking at the keyboard with intense concentration, his tongue sticking out slightly in a way that Jade found adorable. Finally, he hit send with a triumphant expression. The message read, "Love Yoy to." "You tried," Jade said diplomatically. "That's what matters. Autocorrect will help eventually." "What's autocorrect?" "A feature that fixes your spelling mistakes. Usually. Sometimes it makes things worse. It's complicated." By the end of week 1, Freddy had mastered the basics. He could take photos, send mostly legible texts, and had discovered the voice-to-text feature that made communication significantly easier. He'd also accidentally signed up for 3 free trials, downloaded a game about angry birds that he found deeply satisfying, and somehow set his ringtone to a death metal song that scared him every time someone called. "I hate this thing," he declared, glaring at the phone like it had personally insulted him. "It's too complicated. Too many features. Too many ways to accidentally break it." "You love it," Jade countered, watching him take his 47th photo of Lucas that morning. "Admit it, you're obsessed." "I'm documenting our son's development. That's different from obsession." "You took a picture of him yawning yesterday, and texted it to me with 3 heart emojis." He looked cute, and emojis are an efficient way to express emotion without typing words on this nightmare keyboard. Week 2 was when Jade made her tactical error. She introduced Freddy to social media. "Absolutely not," Freddy said when she suggested he get an Instagram account. "I'm not putting my life on the internet for strangers to see. Do you know how many enemies I've made over the decades? The last thing I need is a digital footprint." "You don't have to use your real name. Look, I made you an account under a pseudonym, Fred Krueger, no E. No one will know it's you. And it's not for strangers, it's for sharing photos with friends and family. We don't have friends and family. We have Amy, Margaret, and a baby who exists partially in the dream realm. Exactly. So, it's perfect. Low stakes. Just post some pictures of Lucas, maybe some photos of our life. It'll be fun. Freddie remained skeptical, but he let Jade show him how Instagram worked. The concept of filters fascinated him immediately. You're telling me I can make photos look different just by applying these effects? That's not reality manipulation, that's just lying about what things look like. Welcome to social media. Nothing's real, everything's curated, and everyone is lying about how perfect their life is. I like it already. He spent an hour applying different filters to the same photo of Lucas, fascinated by how much the appearance could change. Valencia made everything warm and vintage, Ludwig made it dramatic and moody, Clarendon made colors pop in ways that shouldn't be possible. This is black magic, Freddie declared. Digital black magic. I approve. His first Instagram post was a filtered photo of Lucas sleeping, surrounded by shadows that normal people would assume were artistic lighting, but Jade knew were actual nightmare manifestations. The caption read, "My son, he's better than your kids." That's a terrible caption, Jade said, reading over his shoulder. You can't just insult other people's children. Why not? It's true. Lucas can phase through walls and speak dream language. I'm just stating facts. That's not how social media works. You're supposed to be humble and say something like blessed or love this little guy. Freddie's expression was disgusted. That's false and sappy. I'm not doing that. Fine. Hit the asshole dad on Instagram. See if I care. Within an hour, the post had 50 likes, mostly from people who assumed Fred Krueger was just a regular dad with a dark sense of humor. The comments ranged from supportive to amused, and Freddie read each one with intense interest. Someone said Lucas looks like a heartbreaker. They're right. He's going to devastate people when he's older. He scrolled through more comments. Wait, this person wants to know my workout routine. Why would they want that? Because you look like you're carved from marble in your profile picture. People are thirsty. Thirsty for what? I don't understand. Thirsty means they find you attractive and want to climb you like a tree. Freddie's eyebrows rose. Someone wants to climb me? Who is this person? Do they know I'm married? It's in your bio. See, married to the love of my existence. Father to the prince of nightmares. You literally wrote that. I assumed people would read the bio. No one reads bios. They just look at pictures and make assumptions. Welcome to the internet. By week 3, Freddie had become a social media monster in the most literal sense. He discovered TikTok, which Jade immediately regretted showing him, and then started making videos that walked the line between humor and genuinely unsettling. His first TikTok was just him staring at the camera in his demon form for 15 seconds while the audio played ominous music. The caption, POV, you're my wife's stalker, and I just found you. It went viral immediately. Why do people like this? Freddie asked, watching the view count climb. I'm literally just standing there being threatening. Because the internet loves dark humor and hot people doing scary things. You're both. Also, that sound you used is trending, so the algorithm is pushing it to more people. The algorithm. This mythical force that decides what content gets seen. It's like a digital god. That's actually a pretty accurate description. Now delete that video before someone recognizes you as an actual supernatural entity. No way. It has 50,000 likes. I'm keeping it. The video eventually got removed for violating community guidelines about threatening content, which Freddie took as a personal insult. He spent an entire evening ranting about censorship and how the internet was too sensitive, while Jade tried not to laugh. You literally threatened someone's life in the caption. It was hypothetical. It said stalker, not a specific person. That's protected speech. Not on TikTok it isn't. The gaming revelation happened in week 4, and it changed everything. Jade came in from work to find Freddie and Lucas in the living room, Freddie holding his phone while Lucas sat in his lap, both of them staring at the screen with intense concentration. The baby's eyes were doing that shifting color thing they did when he was focusing his powers, and Freddie's expression was one of pure competitive fury. What are you two doing? Jade asked, setting down her bag. Playing Candy Crush, Freddie said without looking up, and we're losing. This game is rigged. There's no way to beat level 47 without spending money on power-ups. You're playing a mobile game with our 6-month-old son. He's good at pattern recognition. Look, he keeps pointing at the matches we should make. Freddie tilted the phone so Lucas could see better. There, buddy. That jelly. We need to clear the jelly. Lucas made a sound and pointed at the screen where a perfect match was waiting. Freddie made the move, and the board exploded in colorful satisfaction. Yes, that's my boy. We're gonna beat this level out of spite. Jade watched her nightmare demon husband and their half-demon baby bond over a mobile game about matching candy, and she felt something in her chest crack open with affection. This was her family. A dream demon learning to navigate smartphones while teaching their infant son gaming strategy. You two are nerds, she declared, sitting beside them on the couch. Nerds who were about to beat level 47, Freddie corrected. Watch and learn. They didn't beat level 47 that night, or the next night, but Freddie became obsessed with it in a way that was both funny and slightly concerning. He played during Lucas's nap time, muttering strategy under his breath. He played while making dinner, the phone propped against the salt shaker. He'd even play in the dream realm, where the candy matched itself in impossible patterns just because he willed it to. You have a problem, Jade told him after catching him playing at 3 in the morning. I don't have a problem. I have a nemesis. This game thinks it can beat me. It's wrong. It's a game. It doesn't think anything. That's what it wants you to believe. When Freddie finally beat level 47, he woke Jade up to show her, his human form practically vibrating with triumph. Look at this. Level 48 unlocked. I did it. Me and Lucas, we conquered the jelly. Our son is asleep. So I'll tell him in the morning. He'll be proud. The YouTube discovery was Jade's fault entirely. She'd been watching cooking videos on her laptop while Lucas played on his blanket, and Freddie had wandered over to see what she was doing. One video led to another, and suddenly he was diving deep into the rabbit hole of recommended content. People just film themselves doing things and put it on the internet, he asked, fascinated. And other people watch it? Why? Entertainment, education, boredom, lots of reasons. YouTube has everything. Tutorials, vlogs, gaming content, music, weird conspiracy theories. Freddie's eyes lit up at that last one. Conspiracy theories? Oh no. No. Don't go down that path. Too late. Within an hour, Freddie had discovered conspiracy theory YouTube, and Jade watched in horrified amusement as he consumed video after video about things that ranged from plausible to absolutely unhinged. Did you know the government is hiding the existence of cryptids? Freddie said, looking up from the phone with wide eyes. There are entire videos about this, with evidence. That evidence is usually just blurry photos of people making assumptions. Still, it makes you think. He went back to scrolling. Oh, here's one about how dreams are actually glimpses into parallel dimensions. They're not wrong about that one. Dreams are absolutely other dimensions. I live in them. Please don't comment on those videos and reveal that you're actual proof of supernatural existence. I'm not stupid, Jade. I'm using a fake name, Fred Krueger. Remember, no one knows it's me. Except Freddy couldn't help himself. He started commenting on videos, adding his own insights based on actual knowledge of the supernatural realm. His comments were detailed, confident, and completely sincere, which made people think he was either brilliant or completely insane. At Fred Krueger 87, you seem to know a lot about this stuff, one person commented. Are you a researcher? Something like that, Freddy typed back. I spent a lot of time in alternate dimensions. Jade read over his shoulder and groaned. You're going to end up doxxed by conspiracy theorists who think you're a government agent. Let them try. I'd love to see them track down a dream demon. The real breakthrough came when Freddy discovered video games. Not mobile games like Candy Crush, but actual console games. Jade's old PlayStation had been gathering dust in the entertainment center, and one evening Freddy asked what it was. That's a PlayStation 4. It plays video games, like interactive stories or challenges where you control a character. Show me. Jade set it up and loaded up a horror game called Resident Evil, figuring Freddy would appreciate the genre. Within 5 minutes, he was hooked. This is incredible, he breathed, navigating through a creepy mansion while zombies lurched around corners. It's like being in a nightmare, but you control it. The atmosphere, the tension, the way fear builds as you explore. Whoever designed this understands horror. Glad you approve. And don't get too addicted because Lucas needs attention. Lucas can watch. He'll learn survival skills. Their 6-month-old son was currently chewing on his own foot and occasionally making shadows dance across the ceiling, completely uninterested in the video game. But Freddy narrated the gameplay anyway, explaining strategy to a baby who couldn't understand words yet, but seemed content to listen to his father's voice. See, buddy? That's a safe room. No enemies can get you there. It's like how the dream realm has safe zones where nightmares can't reach. Always know where your safe zones are. Jade watched them, her heart full to bursting. Freddy in his human form, controller in hand, their son in his lap, both of them bathed in the blue glow of the TV screen. This was domesticity she'd never imagined possible. The Springwood slasher playing video games while giving their baby life lessons about horror survival. You're doing that thing where you look at us like we're the best thing you've ever seen, Freddy said without taking his eyes off the screen. That's because you are. Sappy, but I'll allow it. By week 5, Freddy had integrated technology into his life in ways that were both impressive and slightly alarming. He mastered texting and now sent Jade updates throughout the day when she was at work, photos of Lucas with captions that ranged from sweet to unhinged. He just phased through his crib. I'm so proud. Lucas made the shadows spell his name, advanced spelling for 6 months. Your son just made eye contact with something in the dream realm. We're investigating. He'd become adept at social media, posting carefully curated photos of their life, but gave glimpses without revealing too much. The account had gained a small following of people who thought Fred Krueger was just a really cool dad with excellent aesthetics and a dark sense of humor. He'd beaten Candy Crush to level 100 and had moved on to other mobile games, each one becoming a personal challenge he had to conquer. Jade had found him playing a game called Monument Valley at 2 in the morning, muttering about impossible geometry and echelon architecture. This game understands non-Euclidean space, he told her seriously. The developer must have experience with dream realms. Or they're just like optical illusions. Same thing. The video games had become a bonding activity for the whole family. Freddy would play while Lucas watched from his lap, and Jade would curl up beside them on the couch, reading or watching, or just enjoying their presence. Sometimes she'd play too, and Freddy would backseat game with enthusiasm. Behind you. There's a zombie behind you. I see it. I've got this. You don't got this. You're about to die. Have faith in your wife. I have faith that you're going to get eaten and then blame the controls. He wasn't wrong. Jade was terrible at horror games, all her bravery in real life failing to translate to digital survival. But Freddy found her attempts endearing, and Lucas seemed to enjoy watching his parents interact, his shifting eyes tracking their movements. The true test of Freddy's technological integration came when Jade suggested they do a video call with Amy. Her best friend had been wanting to see Lucas, but schedules had been complicated. A video call seemed like the perfect solution. You want me to talk to someone through the phone in real time while they see my face? Freddy looked skeptical. That's basically the same as appearing in person. Why not just teleport to her location? Because Amy's in Seattle visiting her sister, and even you can't teleport that far in the waking world yet. Come on, it'll be fun. You like Amy? Amy is terrifying in a way I respect. Fine, we'll do the video call. Setting it up took longer than expected because Freddy kept accidentally muting himself or turning off his camera or somehow ending the call before it started. But eventually they got connected, and Amy's face appeared on the screen, her expression amused. There you are. I was starting to think you'd forgotten how to work the phone. This technology is needlessly complicated, Freddy grumbled, but we figured it out. Say hi, Lucas. He held the baby up to the camera, and Lucas made a sound while reaching for the phone. His eyes did a shift in color thing, and for a moment the screen flickered with static. Did your baby just glitch on my phone with his mind? Amy asks. Probably, Jade said. He's still learning control. Lucas, don't break Amy's phone. That's rude. The call lasted an hour, with Amy cooing over Lucas and asking about their life, and only occasionally mentioning how surreal it was to video chat with a dream demon. Freddy handled it well, his human form making him look like any other attractive dad doing a video call with his wife's friend. You've come a long way from the nightmare who didn't know what a smartphone was, Amy observed at one point. Look at you, successfully video chatting. I'm proud. I can tame multitudes, Freddy replied. I can be a terrifying nightmare and also figure out FaceTime. These things aren't mutually exclusive. After the call ended, Freddy looked thoughtful. That was actually nice, being able to talk to someone face to face even though they're across the country. Technology has its merits. Does this mean you're officially a 21st century demon now? I'm a demon who appreciates modern conveniences while maintaining my fundamental nature. I can browse Instagram and also tear apart anyone who threatens my family, multitasking. That evening, after Lucas was asleep and they were lying in bed together, Freddy scrolled through his phone while Jade read beside him. It was comfortable, domestic, normal in a way that should have been impossible, but felt perfectly natural. Thank you, Freddy said suddenly. For what? For being patient while I figured all this out. I know I complained a lot about the technology being complicated and unnecessary, but I get it now. Why you wanted me to have a phone, to be connected to the world in this way. It's not about the technology itself. It's about staying connected to you and Lucas even when I'm in the dream realm, about being present in your life in every way possible, including the digital ways. Jade set down her book and looked at him, this nightmare demon who was learning to navigate the modern world with endearing determination. You're doing great. I know it's a lot to learn all at once, but watching you take pictures of Lucas and get competitive about mobile games and argue with people on YouTube about supernatural theory, it's been amazing. You're adapting, growing, becoming more than just a nightmare. I'm still a nightmare, Freddy corrected, but his tone was soft. Just a nightmare who knows how to use an iPhone now. The most important kind of nightmare. He kissed her then, setting the phone aside to pull her close. I love you. My patient, wonderful wife who introduced me to the horrors of the 21st century. I love you too. My stubborn, technologically challenged husband who somehow went viral on TikTok. They fell asleep like that, tangled together, phones charging on their respective nightstands. In the next room, Lucas dreamed peacefully, his presence radiating through both the real world and the dream realm. Shadows played across his nursery walls, spelling out fragments of the dream language he was learning to speak. The Prince of Nightmares was growing up in two worlds simultaneously, learning both human and demon skills from parents who existed in that space between. And now, thanks to Jade's determination to drag Freddy into the modern age, he'd grow up with a father who knew how to document every moment, who could video chat with family, who understood the basics of navigating a digitally connected world. A father who'd gone from being confused by touchscreens to mastering social media in 5 weeks, who discovered mobile gaming and made it a bonding experience with his son, who'd learned to text I love you with only minimal spelling errors. Freddy Krueger, the Springwood slasher, nightmare demon, and dream realm king, had officially entered the 21st century. And while he still preferred the horror of direct confrontation to the horror of autocorrect fails, he'd adapted with surprising grace. Because that's what you did for family. You learned new things, even when they were confusing and frustrating. You met them in their world, even when your world was literally made of nightmares. You took pictures of your son at 3 in the morning just because he looked cute. You texted your wife heart emojis even though you initially thought they were stupid. You played video games and posted on Instagram and figured out how to video call friends across the country. You adapted. You grew. You became more than what you were, without losing what made you fundamentally yourself. And somewhere in the dream realm, in the cathedral they built for their wedding, a new window appeared. Stained glass depicting a smartphone, glowing with inner light, representing the newest chapter in their impossible love story. The nightmare who learned to text. The demon who mastered Instagram. The dream king who discovered Candy Crush and made it a competition worth winning. Freddy Krueger in the digital age. It was absurd and perfect and absolutely them. And Jade couldn't wait to see what he'd discover next. Maybe TikTok dances, maybe online shopping, maybe he'd start a YouTube channel about nightmare theory and become an internet sensation. Whatever it was, she'd be there, taking pictures, sending texts, building a life between worlds that included both ancient nightmare magic and the very modern magic of staying connected across any distance. A family, growing, adapting, thriving in ways that defied every rule about what was possible. The Prince of Nightmares and his parents, learning to navigate the 21st century together, one smartphone at a time.